Jumping right into it, I'm showing you how to replace your brake pads. Now, first thing we're going to do is loosen our retaining pins. And then after that, we're going to unbolt our caliper mounting bolts. Now, I have steel braided brake lines, and when I installed them, I kind of did it in a way to where I can't fully remove my upper mounting bolt. I can only back it all the way out. So after you do that, you can then remove your caliper off of your rotor. And again, I have steel lines, so I'm fine with just hanging my caliper. If you have rubber lines, you might want to support it. Now after that, you can fully remove your retaining pins. You want to loosen them first because it's much easier to do so when it's mounted to the bike. And after you remove your pins, your pads will just fall right on out. And after that, you want to take a look at them, make sure that they aren't wearing unevenly, and that's what I'm doing here. And after that, I'm comparing them to new pads from the same brand. And I'll show you right here. You can see I will use what? Maybe 10%, if that, not even that much. So I'm not going to replace them right now. I am just going to reinstall them, but of course, the process is still the same. Now I'm inspecting the inside of my caliper, making sure it's clean. Making sure it's clean. Then after that, we bust out that simple green, because you know I like it mine clean, mean, and pristine. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to clean it again anyways, even though it don't even need it. Make sure it's all good. And after this, we're going to grab some of that brake parts cleaner. This will help get all that simple green out. And after that, we're going to blow it with some air. Get that all out of there. After that, we're going to deglaze our rotors using some red Scotch-Brite. And it took me longer than I'm showing here, of course. And after we Scotch-Brite it, we're going to put some brake parts cleaner on a rag and clean off all the debris we've caused. And of course, this takes longer as well, as you can see how beat up my shop towel is. And you basically want to do this to a point to where your shop towel comes up clean. Look at that. On both sides, too. We do this. You got to keep it clean. All right, and after that, now we're going to remove the wheel. This is how you remove your wheel. Now, my process is going to be a little different than yours if you do not have fork sliders. So the first thing I need to do is remove my fork sliders. Now, the fork slider, after I remove it, I'll show you how it looks and the purpose of it. So basically, it is this rod that goes through your axle, and so if you crash, instead of your forks taking damage, these fork sliders are supposed to take the damage. And they've worked in the crashes that I've had. After that, I prop the wheel right back up, and then I start to loosen the fork axle clamp bolts. Now I'm only loosening the side where the nut is so I could take the nut off. I'm not loosening the other side of the bike because I want it to stay still. So here, we're just loosening it. Ain't nothing to it. There's not too much torque on it, especially since this is an aluminum nut. It's not going to be the same as the OEM nut. After that, I go to loosen the other side, and then we're going to just go ahead and tap the axle out. It doesn't take much force at all. You just got to get it moving, especially if you keep yours nice, clean, and lubed like I do. Slide that axle right on out, and you're good to go. And now your front wheel is free. Now we're going to go through a speed run right here. I'll give you a little bit of bonus content. We're going to replace this tire. Break the bead, go ahead and remove the first lip, go ahead and then pull it up, remove the second lip. Now your tire is free. Slide your new tire on it, slap it on, pop the bead, pop, pop. We good to go. Balance it, check the balance of it, remove any weights you need to, put new weights on it, tape them down with some gaff tape, and now we're back to the caliper. So now I'm reinstalling my old pads because they're fine. Pushing the retaining pins back through, and I'll show you what the back of the caliper looks like and how these retaining pins look. Let it slide through, nothing to it but to do it. And you can go ahead and start threading them if you want to. All right, now we can go ahead and get our wheel ready to go again. Now this Pitbull wheel chuck is so convenient because when you're ready to put your axle back through, you don't have to hold the weight of the tire as that chalk holds it up for you. Now there I showed that I cleaned off these mounting bolts and I put more Loctite on them. The manual says you want to replace these bolts every time you take it off, but if you ride track and you replace tires often, it's just, I don't know who does replace them all the time, but I surely don't. And the reason they say you should replace them is because they come from the factory with a thread locker on them. So after that, you go ahead and push your axle back through, nothing to it. Slide your nut back on, nothing to it. Then you go ahead and retorque everything, nothing to it. All right, that's all I got for y'all. Y'all stay blessed. Don't be too stressed. Master Yoshi out. Peace.